Posted by you, Jade_mermaid_. Brother, 25. Being isolated from family by girlfriend, 24. I, 27F. Have a younger brother, 25. Who I believe is being isolated from my family from his girlfriend, 24. They have been together for about 3.5 years. My partner agrees with me that this is what is happening, and she is an absolute menace. Ultimately, I believe they are both codependent in a very harmful way, and he seems to be a victim of some emotional abuse. And the reason I'm here is because it's painful to see my brother drift away, so if I could get some advice on how to approach this better, or just general opinions on whether I'm right about this being fucked, maybe we could get him out of this faster. Now for backstory. My brother has always been reasonably introverted. For the years of adulthood prior to his relationship, and even for the first year-ish of it, I would say we had a pretty good relationship. He moved in with her out of my parents' house relatively quickly, and the house he moved to is extremely close to them. They had a bit of a strained relationship with him immediately prior to him leaving, and throughout our lives I've definitely noticed a bit of a personality clash between a type A parent and a more laid-back child. The girl is very antagonistic towards myself and my partner, becomes greatly irritable and defensive if we ask her clarifying questions in a normal conversational manner, condescends to us, etc. She is a keyboard warrior and seems to think of herself as a martyr for the mentally ill. She has a new job in the mental health and addictions field, as did I until recently. Always asks to leave soon in the middle of dinner and family gatherings where the meal is specially catered to her dietary restrictions. Never says thank you. I've watched her belittle my brother at family gatherings, plan his life out for him loudly in front of us, lecture him about going to the doctor, doing XYZ, complain about his friends and paint them as horrible people who alienated him, and coax him into hanging out with her friends or seemingly approved by her friends. When they are in the same room, they sit on complete opposite sides of the room and don't look at each other. He stares at the floor and barely responds to us when we try to include him in the convo at family gatherings. His presentation is obviously signifying he is depressed and defeated. She went away over the holidays last year, and that was the first time I'd seen my brother make eye contact with me or my parents, laugh, or talk about hanging out with his own friends in at least a year. He currently isn't working because he has to pass a test to be certified to work, and my parents have been partially supporting him financially. He was diagnosed with ADHD, and suddenly he behaves as though he is incapable of functioning in a classroom or writing tests, even though he has now completed a degree and did quite well. It makes me wonder if he wants to work in the field at all, if he is just used to his girlfriend's family wealth semi-supporting him and doesn't have the drive, or if the mental health martyr has convinced him his ADHD is so disabling that he is delaying the test for months and months. I confronted him recently about ignoring texts and avoiding family and only contacting me when it's convenient for him, like for last-minute car rides to appointments, and he said it's because of his concerns with money and he's too stressed. I asked him if he is allowed to answer messages, because I've had a hunch this girl reads his messages and that's why he doesn't answer or have contact with friends and family. He would not directly answer me. He got notably nervous and skirted around the issue. Makes me think this girl screens his texts. This isn't even close to everything. This leaves out the drama where she already had beef with his friend group because she was dating a mutual acquaintance from the friend group from his high school and then started dating my brother. So, there's a bad history to start. I typically like to keep the time I'm around my brother chill, so I don't push him away. But he's already being pushed away. So how do I deal with this or approach this? I have intimated to my parents I believe she is hurting him and keeping him away, but I'm wondering if further steps need to be taken. Do I just need to learn how to deal? How much do I keep trying to be in contact with him if he rarely even answers? TLDR. My brother has been drifting away from family and his mental health has been notably deteriorating, which all seems connected to his girlfriend. I don't know what to do. Now onto the only comment. Posted by Zinfatal55. Do not discuss the girlfriend. Do not denigrate the girlfriend. Keep it light. Keep the communication lines open. For heaven's sake, if it is possible that she is screening the texts, don't bring anything up other than face-to-face and alone. Unless he is being abused, there is little recourse otherwise. Just be patient and hope that he comes to his senses eventually. And remain his lifeline to the outside world. Now on to the last story. Posted by you, MeanCat5586, I, 27F. Hate my friend's boyfriend, 28M. Who is also my roommate. First time writing a post. But I need advice to how to handle this situation with my friend's boyfriend. To set the scene, I, 27F, basically moved into my friend's boyfriend's, 28M, house that he lives in with his mother and father. Me and my friend, 25F, are pretty close, not best friends, but have a good relationship with each other and have known her for 6 years. My friend is now engaged with her boyfriend, but they don't live with each other because she lives in a different state, and they do long-distance dating. While I was looking for a room, my friend's boyfriend, whom I did know before but was only semi-close with, happened to have a spare bedroom for me to rent. My friend's boyfriend seemed alright from the few times I hung out with him, so I decided to move in for a little while. At first the guy seemed fine and pretty nice while I was living there, his mother and father were nice too. But slowly as I hung out with him more, he started making ruder comments to me, and I started noticing he had a tendency to sort of be rude to other people as well, in front and behind their backs. Example of comments he makes to me. That I'm still single. Quote, he said about me to another person. Don't take dating advice from her, she's 27 and still single. Keeps pushing me to get together with some of his friends, which makes me uncomfortable that I'm a loner. I personally like being alone a lot, but he says it's sad. This isn't reoccurring, but he out of the blue said the F slur while talking about gay people in our conversation one time. He says he wants to see what I'm like when I'm angry and mad. He and his friend group seem to have fun choosing to pick on someone whenever they hang out, and it seems pretty toxic and hurtful to whoever gets chosen to get picked on that day. The things they make fun of is usually about their weight and singleness. I also noticed he seems sort of two-faced. For example, after his engagement party, he talked about a mutual friend, 29F, of ours to me, saying she was so old and still single. I felt bad cause the girl came to his engagement party to congratulate him and even bought flowers, but he was saying such nasty things behind her back. So, I need advice on how to handle this awkward relationship with my friend's boyfriend, who is unfortunately my roommate. I'm planning to move out and I decided I definitely don't like the boyfriend, but I still like my friend. Should I just pretend that everything is alright until I move out, or give him a bit of a cold shoulder to stop bothering me? I don't want to confront him because I'd rather just not interact with him anymore. Also, should I go to their wedding? I really don't want to, but I feel bad cause I feel like my friend is expecting me. But she still doesn't know that I hate her boyfriend. TL. Dr. I moved in with my friend's boyfriend. He seemed nice at first but now is very rude. How do I handle the situation? Now on to some comments. Posted by Bonnie Mick. I would just be not home as much as possible until you move out. Go to the library or a cafe or wander around a mall. I personally wouldn't confront your friend. People tend to side with the person they are seeing naked. Nothing good is going to come of confronting anyone here. Posted by Knights End 2. At this point you plan to leave. That is the most important part. Sometimes people just become intolerable once they get too comfortable around you. He sounds like the type of guy who may want to be a good guy, but just falls flat in the long run. Next up, my advice would be to talk to your friend and not him about it. You don't need to be rude. You definitely don't need to frame it as if you expect her to do anything about it. If she is a good friend, she will at least consider your situation in future events and such. If you feel compelled to tell him why you don't prefer to be around him much after that, it is up to you. I personally doubt it will be worth your time.